Hello boils and ghouls, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be testing out what the darkest, blackest eyeshadow is in my collection. We're gonna go through all my palettes and find out which black is the blackest. Black, like my black little heart. You dogs need to sit down! So I was inspired to do this by the Natasha Denona Mini Xenon palette. There is a color in here called Blackest Black. And I don't know if it's the blackest black or not. I want to know. Let's find out. That's what I'm wearing right now, along with some other shades from this palette because this is my new favorite palette. We discussed that in my last video. I live in a zoo. Before we get any further, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. You should do it if you haven't already. If you really want to be awesome, you can share this video, but you know, liking and subscribing is enough for me. So let's just get to it. So I'm just going to start grabbing some palettes at random here. I've got 11 of them. 11. 10 plus 1 is 11. I have tattoos, so I can't really do the best swatches on myself, so I'm going to try my best using this real estate here. The first palette I've got is the Trixie Cosmetics Trixie X Juno palette. You open it up here. We've got this black here. It's called Grim Reaper. And we'll just get a whole bunch of that on my finger. Oh, I just made a big mess. Sorry. And we'll just swatch some of that on my arm here. It's kind of crumbly. We'll just make it as dark as we can. We'll just make all of them as dark as we can. Alright, so there's Grim Reaper. Then we're going to grab the Lovecraft Beauty eyeshadow palette. This is the Basic Rituals palette. It's a beautiful little palette. It's got 6 colors, and the black inside is called Waning. Let's see how that does. So we're gonna use this finger, and we're gonna go in. It's kind of creamy feeling. It's very nice. Ooh. I don't know how well that's gonna do. Let's just put it right next to Grim Reaper. Oh, that is not so black, is it? Put a couple more layers on there. That is just really not that dark. This is taking a lot of work. A lot more work than it should. So there we are with Waning. Now the next one is this old ass palette by theBalm. I actually used the fuck out of this palette. It's the Nude Tude eyeshadow palette. I actually decluttered it in this video here. So I bought a new one off of Amazon. I have no idea how old this is, but it seems fine. I don't know. I don't care. So anyway, we're gonna go into this color, which is Serious. It's the black. It's just a little guy. We're just gonna go in there. I used to do my eyebrows with this one. That one's pretty black. It's a pretty bright black. It's going on real nice and consistent. So far, this is winner, winner, chicken dinner. So this is Serious. And then the next palette, we've got the Baby Bat Beauty Nox palette, which is this spooky, vampy one we got right here. I'm going to go into Immortal. That's the black one. We'll just dip into that one and see how it stands up against the others. Kinda, maybe chocolate. Ooh, that one's real black. That one's good too. This is an indie brand that I love very, very much. Ooh, that goes on real dark. I think that one might be a little more darker than Serious, actually. It's pretty thick. All right, the next one we've got is one of my kind of favorites, but it got beat out in this video. It is the ColourPop Blowin Smoke palette. We've discussed it multiple times on this channel. The black color inside is called Let's Do It. So, let's do it. I'm just gonna go right. Oh, a big crumble just fell into my lap. That's not good. Oh, it's all over my hand now. Ugh. Trying not to take up too much real estate on my arm. That one I'm not very impressed with. So let's do a couple more layers. Next to the NYX palette one is just not looking as good. I mean, it's pretty black, but it's like not very opaque. It's taken a couple layers to really get it built up here. So that's Let's Do It from the Blowin Smoke palette. The next one that I've got is the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette, and I have not actually played with this palette at all yet. I bought it on Black Friday, and I want to do a Black Friday haul video, but the truth is that I have not gotten all of my shit in the mail yet. So I'm still waiting on everything so that I can make a fucking video with all my stuff. And it's gonna be like... So it's gonna be like really, really late, not relevant anymore, but I'm gonna make one anyway. I have to keep making content for you. This color is called Bonnie, and it's obviously the black one, if you can't tell. Ooh. That one's looking pretty dark. Let's see how it does. Whoa, that's pretty bright. That's a pretty bright black. So that's Bonnie from the Gemini palette. Next, we've got not one but two Jeffree Star blacks here. This is from the Weirdo palette. I got this when it was super on sale. I couldn't resist it. I didn't want to pay full price for it, but I didn't, so now I have it. So this is the shade Weirdo. Go in with my middle finger and just pick up some of that. Ooh, that is also pretty black, you guys. So we've got Weirdo. Pretty black, but maybe not the blackest one. I don't know. So far, we've got Bonnie and whatever the one from the NYX palette is. Immortal. They seem to be doing kind of the best. And then we've got the Cremated palette by Jeffree Star. I put a bunch of Vampire Freak stickers on it because I can't stand to look at his face. I just kind of can't. So we're gonna go into the black color, obviously, that is called Hearse. I'm gonna use this finger. I'm just gonna fuck this shit up. Oh. Oops. Oh. Not quite as black as I'd like it to be. Let's see how it fares against Weirdo. Oh. That is not as black as I would like it to be. So Hearse, which that swatch just looks all kinds of ugly. Next, surprisingly, is the Lisa Frank palette from Morphe. Looks like a Trapper Keeper. I love it so much, you guys. Look at all those colors that I would never wear, but I needed to have it. It's got a black in it. It's called Max Splash. I'm gonna go in with this finger, and I'm going to dip it in there, and that looks black. So we're gonna go right next to that. Ooh. So that one's surprisingly good. That is almost like kind of a neon black, if you ask me. That's a pretty good black right there. Surprising, because it came from the Lisa Frank palette. Okay, so we're down to 2. Now we're gonna do the Natasha Denona Mini Xenon palette. This black is called Blackest Black. Let's see how it looks. It's pretty black. It's kind of crumbly. Feels kind of dry. You know, swatches don't always tell you the full story. Sometimes you just gotta get it on your eye to figure out how it actually works. That's pretty black, but it's also looking really dry. I mean, it doesn't look the blackest out of all these, and I went over it 4 times, so I don't know if it's the blackest black. I think that that's a fucking lie. Last, we've got not a palette, but a single all by itself. It is an Urban Decay shadow in Blackout. I haven't used this yet. I think I stuck my finger in it one time to see how dark it was, but that's about it. So we'll just go in there, see how black that looks. Ooh. I like the consistency of that one. All right, and this is Urban Decay's Blackout. Now we have to figure out which one is the blackest. Right away, I can tell you, this one stands out to me, as well as this one and this one. Maybe these two. This one. I just punched myself. Just punched myself in the face. You know, like, when I hold my arm like this, it's nice and straight, but then when I try to look at it, it's, like, all fuckered and, like, I can't see them all at the same time. We're just gonna go down the line. Urban Decay is not the blackest. Still pretty black, though. I would recommend that one. I would recommend it over the Natasha Denona one, for sure. Because that one just doesn't go on as heavy. It's good for the palette that it's in, but it's not the blackest black. There are blacker blacks on my arm right now. The next one is Lisa Frank. Not really the blackest black. And then Cremated. It's not it. Weirdo, however, is pretty fucking black. And then Bonnie from the Gemini palette is also pretty fucking black. And then the next one is Let's Do It from Blowin Smoke. Uh-oh, I lost where I'm at. Okay, so that's Let's Do It. And then the next one is from the Nox palette, which is also very, very black. Next one is a surprising one from the Nude Tude palette. Pretty good, but not as good as the others. Basic Rituals is a no. That's this one. That's actually kind of the saddest one. And then Grim Reaper is this first one, which is also not it. I'm just gonna pull the darkest ones out and I'm going to compare them on my wrist. Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna go no on this one because I can already tell that there are darker ones. Natasha Denona's Blackest Black, I'm gonna have to say no. But Urban Decay's Blackout, I'm going to say yes. So I've got 4 here, and we're just gonna swatch those on my wrist and see which one is the darkest. So we're going with Blackout first. You know, I can see it well, and then you can't see it as well. I'll get a good shot, I promise. This is Jeffree Star's Weirdo. Yeah. Okay, next one is Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette in Bonnie. So this is what we've got so far. And then finally the Nox palette, Immortal. Let's see how this one fares up against the other ones. Okay, and that's Immortal. So we've got Blackout, Weirdo, Bonnie, and Immortal here. So looking at these here, and deciding which one's the blackest. I'm pretty torn. I think as far as like bright black, like I'm looking for like a bright black, like it's like black, not grayish or just dark. Like I'm looking for something that's really gonna pop, especially if you put it on some eyeshadow primer. Like it's just gonna look like a void, you know what I mean? So I think right away I'm going to take out the Weirdo palette, and then that's gonna leave us with Blackout, Bonnie, and Immortal. For these three, though, if you're looking for a black eyeshadow, I would say you can do the single Urban Decay, or you can get a palette. You could get the NYX palette or the Gemini palette, and you would be pretty set with a black eyeshadow. I mean, it kind of just depends on what you're looking for, because they're so different from each other. Like, the Baby Bat Beauty NYX palette is like all these, you know, incredible spooky colors, while the Gemini palette is pretty different from that. It's all these, you know, different greens, really. And then the Urban Decay, you just spend 20 bucks and get one color all by itself. It really just kind of depends on what you want. If you want spooky, I would say go with the NYX palette. If you really like the colors in the Gemini palette, I'd say go with that. Or if you don't want a palette, you just want to do your makeup black all the time, I'd say go with Urban Decay's Blackout. But if I had to choose one, and this is just based on how much coverage, like how opaque it is going on, and how bright black it is, I'm gonna have to go with Immortal from the NYX palette. Yay, small businesses! This one's Baby Bat Beauty, sells out and then reappears again, and sells out and reappears again, so you just have to get lucky. This is gonna be Immortal from the NYX palette right there, and I really do think that that is the blackest of the four. Like, Urban Decay's Blackout is pretty good, and Bonnie is also pretty good. Weirdo's not bad, but this one is just super opaque, and it just does its job. It covers my skin and just makes it look like, you know, the darkest, blackest, darkest, blackest depths of the blackest black. I've been drinking. So, Baby Bat Beauty is based out of Philadelphia. It's cruelty-free and vegan. If I am a fan, I have a lot of their shit. These reds that are in here, if you're just going for the reds, like if you're looking for like true reds in a palette, you should get this palette, not just for the black, but the reds are also, I would highly recommend this palette. You should get it for yourself because you deserve it. You work hard, or you don't, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Maybe you just watch YouTube all day. I'm glad you're here. Now we know which one is the blackest one. If you know of another black eyeshadow that you think is darker than this one, please comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm glad that we could go on this makeup journey together and figure out which one of my black eyeshadows is in fact the blackest. I am definitely going to use this information in the future. No more black eyeshadow with this Natasha Denona bullshit. My new love is the NYX palette, which I've had for a year. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Please remember to do that. I hope that you have a safe and happy new year. I am done ranting. Goodbye. Oh God, there's like, okay. There is so much makeup on my fingers. This is disgusting. I can't get it off. I'll just wave with this hand. Goodbye.